Denver 7 News starts right now.
Today is a bad day for tyranny and corruption. Today, we take to the streets in over 800 marches around the globe and demand common sense gun laws.
Huge rallies across the globe, millions of people flooding the streets to have their voices heard, including right here in the metro for the March for Our Lives. These marches were organized by students in the wake of Parkland, Florida, the massacre there, and they're hoping to send this message to lawmakers. Enough is enough. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jason Grenauer. We have live team coverage for you tonight. Denver 7's Eric Lufer spoke with students from Parkland, Florida here in Denver. But first, let's send it out to Denver 7's Thomas Hoppo, who's in the middle of everything today. And Thomas, it was quite the turnout.
Well, Jason, it was upwards of 50,000 here, what we're hearing, but everybody now is starting to disperse. There were so many people here demanding a change, something to happen with gun policies, and we've actually spoken to a few of them. And right now we have Jackson Belvey here, who drove all the way from Colorado Springs. And Jackson, why was it so important that you came out here today?
Well, for me personally, I know that when I'm studying at university, whether it's in the library or any other building, I'm concerned about a potential shooter walking in. So I'm just very concerned about me being a potential next victim, one of my friends being a potential victim, and my sister's training to be a teacher, so I don't want her to be a next victim.
What were some of the changes people were arguing today for gun policy?
Some of the changes were banning assault weapons, reducing the effect that the NRA has on our politicians, increasing background checks, and things of that nature.
Okay, and Jackson, what does your sign say? What are you protesting right now?
My sign says, "Dear Mr. President and members of Congress, if you fail to act, then we will."
Well, thank you, Jackson. We appreciate you being here and talking with us. Well, like we said, there was upwards of 50,000 people here. Everybody is leaving now, but there were so many people out here demanding a change, and really electrifying to see just how many people showed up here in the Capitol. For now, I'm going to send it to Eric Lufer, who was also out here earlier today. And Eric, you spoke with some family members from Florida.
Yeah, and it turns out one young student came to Colorado to ski just for spring break. The trip, it fell on the weekend of the march, so her family decided to make a pit stop in Denver to take part. Part of the seed that started a worldwide movement is here in Denver, and her name is Maddie King.
We just kept screaming and shouting until someone started to listen, and now more people are listening.
Maddie was in physics class at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School when shots rang out.
I knew I couldn't make it far, so I ran and I hid in the corner with the rest of my class and my teacher.
She used a friend's cell phone to call her mom. In the end, she was one of the lucky ones.
One of the best moments in my life was when she walked in the door and threw her arms around my neck.
Now the Kings are spending part of their spring break trying to create change, joining the crowd.
I have a dream that we will stand together, we will march together, we will take these streets together.
The message is clear, a demand that lawmakers do something about gun violence. The hope that large numbers may open some eyes, and those who are affected most are on the front lines.
If we want something, we're going to make it happen.
I'm Eric Lufer, Denver 7.
And we are committed to bringing you all sides of this gun discussion. We did have multiple crews downtown today during the march, but there was no sign of any counter-protesters or gun rights activists. The NRA, though, took to social media to slam today's marches. They released a statement saying, in part, quote, "These protests aren't spontaneous. Gun-hating billionaires and Hollywood elites are manipulating and exploiting children as part of their plan to destroy the Second Amendment." Meantime, Denver was just one of multiple marches today. This Colorado high school student is in D.C. making her voice heard during their March for Our Lives. Emmy Adams is a Golden High School senior. She's just one of the many student leaders who organized the school's walkout a few weeks ago and says she's ready for change.
I hope the message is sent that we are here, we won't be silenced, we are going to make a change, and we won't back down until that change is made.
Washington, D.C. was one of the biggest of today's marches, with close to 1 million people in attendance there, where survivors of the tragedy in Parkland, Florida, continue to rally.